Hi, welcome to another video brought to you by turbocamaro.ca. Today I'm going to be going over a little bit about oil. I'm by no means an oil connoisseur. I don't have a lot of overall oil knowledge. However, I do have a general understanding and I know what my engine requires in order to be properly maintained. Now, that being said, if you haven't seen it before, this is the Turbo Camaro engine as it stands. It has not got a turbo yet. That project is still underway, so if you're just finding this now and you're seeing this and it's the newest video, then you're on just in time to see how this is all going to come together. So right now I'm just doing an oil change. Reason for that is that if you look at previous videos, you'll see that I had a valve issue where I had the seals were not correct and it had to be changed out for proper, well, the original O-ring seal. So that's fine. Now I blew a lot of blue smoke through that period of time of starting the engine and get everything going. So I figured I obviously am burning down on oil. I don't have any oil leaks. Everything is very clean with the exception of maybe the valve cover a bit. But other than that, it's all very, very clean. The ground is clean. There's no oil leaks. Now, I'd say I ran for a few hours of total runtime on the bad seals. And you can see here, I took all the oil out today and I drained it into my oil pan and then down into just an empty bottle. And you can see here, right there is where the oil comes to. Well, maybe about there. So almost 2.5 liters or about 2.5 quarts of oil came out of the car. Now, this car should have somewhere between 4 and 5 liters. It's quite possible that it'll probably take 5, but it'll probably be at or just above the full line. So either way, I used about half of the oil. I burned about half the oil with the seals. Now I was just dumping it into the cylinders and then burning it away. So the valves are pretty caked, and you know, what can you do? But I'm pretty confident that's taken care of now. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. So now we're going to new oil. So you can see here, as you saw originally, I got some new oil. I went to Costco. I've got a 12 pack of these 1 liter of the SAE 10W30. It's Castrol GTX. This oil does not have the zinc phosphorus, the ZDDP additive that you want to have in a flat tappet cam. And that's what this engine was built with. No rollers here, just flat tappet. And you need to have a certain amount of zinc in order to be able to maintain this camshaft over an extended period of time. You can obviously not put the zinc in and not have a zinc-based oil, and it'll work, but you're going to have essentially premature wear on your cam, so, and possibly your lifters as well. So the zinc is an additive or based in the oil that provides a proper lubrication for those types of camshafts. So anyway, what I've decided to use is this blue STP Oil Treatment. It says help protects the engine wear, lubricates moving parts, and on the very, very back, you can see that, the very bottom of the blue there to the right, Z or to the left, ZDDP anti-wear agents. Helps quiet noisy valves and lifters, protects internal engine parts. Now, I don't expect this to be a miracle in a bottle, but I've done quite a bit of research online, and it's a tough topic to research because you're going to get people that say this stuff is garbage. You're going to get people that say this stuff is fantastic. You're going to get people that say I've used it for 30 years and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and don't use anything but this. And then of course you're going to get the people that swear that this stuff is just snake oil garbage and it just is a waste of money and time. To me, it's the cheapest product I can find that says it contains the ZDDP, the zinc, basically, that I would want to have. I contacted STP myself. They specifically said that it contains the safe amount to add per oil change in order to lubricate a camshaft of this style. So that to me is good enough. Now, they wouldn't give me specifics. I don't know if it's that they don't know, or that the agent level that I spoke to, if they don't know, or if it's that it's proprietary or something to that effect. But regardless, I'm happy with that. So what I do when I do this, and this is not the first one because this is the stuff I used on the second oil change. First oil change I used the Lucas engine break-in stuff. It was a bit more expensive. Would probably be a great alternative to the STP if you didn't trust it, but I'm going to go with it. So what I do is I put in 1 liter of just straight Castrol GTX. Second one, what I do, and this one I've already done it, I empty about half the bottle in, and then I put half of this in, and then into this. And this is now about probably like a third STP, and the rest is just the leftover oil. And I put this in. And I kind of want to show you this because it's important to me. There's a lot of people online that say that this stuff doesn't mix and it just gets goopy and causes problems. And I'm going to try to pour this on camera. Good luck. Oh, look at that. So you can see this is mixed STP and oil. Do you see clumps? Do you see it separate from the Castrol DTX? You don't. And why is that? Because it does mix just fine. Whoa, that was close. So yeah, the point of the matter is here is that this STP does in fact mix with regular oil. It's not something that, you know, it separates and gums up. And, you know, I heard some review person said that it, you know, they took their engine apart and they could see the STP just, you know, gooping off of the crank and everything else and just sort of like stringing around. And that's possible. I mean, stuff could break down maybe faster than the other stuff. I don't know. But the reality is that it seems to mix just fine when it's new into fresh oil. I mean, I don't know long term yet, and I'm not obviously not a, you know, some kind of a specialist where I have the ability to do long term testing. I'm gonna do long term testing on this myself because I you know, I'm going to use it in my engine as often as I can, unless I come across some kind of a clinical test or some kind of a journal or something like that on this where I can find out that it's just garbage. I'm just going to keep on it. STP has been along for a long time. They've been known to make high quality products, at least back in the day. Now I'm not certain, but some of the stuff I've seen, like octane booster and stuff that they produce, I'm a little bit skeptical of. I mean, I'm not skeptical. I know it's garbage. I mean, it's probably a fine product for what it is, but you're not boosting octane with like, 15 ounces of any kind of fluid. Sure, maybe like 0.1% or something, but not to the point where it actually matters. So anyway, without dragging this on, I wanted to make sure that you saw this. So I've got about I don't know, a third or so, a little more than a third left. And again, this is what I wanted you to see. STP, about half a bottle, give or take. I'm going to pour it into there without spilling it, hopefully. It's pretty thick. It's kind of syrupy, right? Like you can see that. So you can see it has a very syrupy, I'm going to stop and start again so you can see that. Like it doesn't even stop pouring almost, and then you can see it just sort of sludging out of there. It adds thickness to your existing oil. Like there's no way the 10W30 that I'm putting in there is this thick as a base. So it does add something to it. So if you buy thick oil to begin with, you may want to consider stepping down. You see what I've done here? I'd love to hear your opinions and comments in the YouTube comment section below. Beyond that, if you have any questions about this process or anything else related to Turbo Camaro, please feel free to do so below. I can be reached at, of course, turbocamaro.ca, Facebook and Twitter as Turbo Camaro 67, or via those YouTube comments. You can also be gotten at turbochargecamaro@gmail.com if you want to do email. Otherwise, yeah, thank you very much for watching.